What is up, my heroes and villains, my players and my professionals? This is the Violence Enthusiast coming at you with another MythBreaker episode. This one's still going to be more about misconceptions than just a flat-out myth. But we're going to be dealing with the belief that a lot of people have where if you punch anyone in the head in a street fight, you're just going to break your hand. Or if you punch someone to the body, you're going to break your hand on your hip bone. Or you're going to catch an elbow. So you better just punch to the middle of the body, or you better just use palm strikes. We're going to be quick with this one. I'm going to try it. As long as I don't go on too many tangents, this will be over quickly and clean. Basically, I'll start out with that's just not true. Your hand is just not made to break like that. Your hand, some people, scientists believe that the hand, we actually evolved to be shorter and thicker than our ape cousins, if you believe in all that, in order to be able to punch people in the damn face. So, no, you're not going to break your hand on someone's head. I mean, ever. You're just not. And it seems really drastic to just flat out say, no, you're wrong, to everyone who says that, but the odds are so low. I mean, if you throw a wild winged punch, you have frail bones, he has a Neanderthal skull, and you catch him on the eyebrow at the wrong angle, and the sun is aligned, in this June on a rainy night, you'll break your hand, your pinky. But no, it's not going to happen. Reasons being, not only are the bones in your hand, the metacarpals, they're too short, they're too thick, and they're curved to withstand impacts coming in this way. If you look at the way that you're taught to punch, and you look at it like x-ray of the hand, you'll see that the metacarpals, you punch like this, you land with the two knuckles, the metacarpals are curved to take on an impact like this. They're made for that. And then they're also made widened at the end so that if you catch an impact from the opposite direction from these three knuckles, it's still not going to break your hand. But before I get into I guess I'll just go ahead and go right into it. Also, besides the fact that they're shaped for punching things, and the fact that bones break going parallel, or perpendicular, not parallel. So parallel force is not going to break your hand. Not to mention there are shock absorbers. The carpus here, full of little 30-something little bones, or 16 or however many, in your palm, which act as shock absorbers so that you slow down the impact enough to protect everything in your hand, so it doesn't break. Okay, so your hand is made not to break. Alright? And heads are made to be punched. Because you have a neck that moves and swivels. If you catch a guy bearing down and you hit him square in the forehead and he has a strong neck, yeah, you might break your hand if you hit him. But usually you'll snap the guy's head and his neck will give way before your hand does. His bones are made to withstand pressure. But even in that case, if he does bear down and you're a moron and you still punch him, you will usually naturally feel that he's not giving, and your body will instinctively collapse before you crack your hand open. Unless you're drunk or something. Then your body just won't be able to react quick enough. But pretty much, no, you're not going to break your hand. If you catch an elbow, you will maybe dislocate it, but if you have a tight fist, all you'll have is a bruise on the front of your proximal phalanges here. Yeah, you like that anatomy? Your proximal, if I'm saying that right, your proximal phalanges here, you're going to have bruises here on these finger bones. If you have a tight fist. If you don't, you might have a minor dislocation that'll heal, in a couple days. But as far as breaking your hand and all that, no, that's not going to happen. That myth is perpetuated by drunks fighting and just hitting things they shouldn't, missing and hitting poles, or trying to ground and pound somebody and popping their hand on concrete. And it's perpetuated by professional fighters who don't understand it. And usually it's boxers, don't understand that boxing gloves are terrible for punching. because they're not made in a fist shape, they're made in a hook. Not only this, but it puts pressure, because the hook shape puts pressure on the very ends of your metacarpals here. And by doing so, it sort of makes them more apt to breaking along that perpendicular line because they're already bending. But then, if you hit something with those gloves on, you're not hitting with the front of your hand here. You're hitting more with the top of your knuckles instead of the front of your knuckles like you should. So if they're already bending down and you put more pressure at this angle, yeah, they might snap. And the boxing gloves are made in a shape that doesn't favor the pinky, hence why you end up landing a lot with the boxer's fracture on the very end there on the pinky. It's because the gloves are made in an odd shape that not only does it make a hook, but it makes a hook like this. So the pinky's already pressed down. And then add hand wraps. Of course, this is why the pinky's always snapped in the boxer's fracture. But that's one big reason. Then the other is they're throwing a bunch of punches without thinking about where they're throwing, and they will catch elbows and stuff, and they'll injure their hands. And over time, their hands will degrade and become weaker and more prone to pain, chronic pain. And they think it's because you're, punching, It's really because you're punching dumb. You're not punching smart. So those are pretty much the reasons. Now, as far as how do you prevent those few things, just don't be an idiot for the most part. Because the only thing is fighting with boxing gloves on. Don't hit people with boxing gloves on. Don't hit someone in a way that they're not going to move or give at all, unless you're hitting a soft target that you know won't break your hand. But even so, you can still hit it and then slow yourself down before you press through it and hurt yourself. As far as proper technique, because if you have proper technique, you mitigate all these losses. Just learn to punch with either your first or second knuckle or your second, third, and fourth. The first two are the last three. Aim with the middle. Go straight. Don't loop. There's no need to be looping punches because you won't be able to accurately judge the trajectory, and you have a slow margin of error without gloves on. You have a lower margin of error. You can't mess up. So instead of looping, get into position and throw down. Do it smoothly, to maintain your power line, to maintain your momentum, but don't go and try to flail it. That's how you will mess up your hand. Not break, mess it up. Because you will hurt your hands. If you hit someone bare knuckle and you don't do it the right angle, you'll have sore hands, but you're not going to break anything. If you do it repeatedly all the time, which if you're getting in that many street fights, then you're a moron. So, fuck you. But over time, yeah, they'll degrade if you keep that up and you don't use proper technique. But before I start making this video too long, proper technique. Close your fist tight. Aim with the first two or last three knuckles. And if you've never heard of the three knuckle landing, just look up Jack Dempsey championship fighting. He'll explain all that. He's an old 20s boxer. And to those who think he did, he didn't invent it. Okay, he didn't invent the three knuckle landing. It's an old boxing thing. You also see it in styles of kung fu and styles of karate. So it is effective. It's been historically proven. Don't worry about that. I know it seems like these small knuckles won't handle, any force. But again, look at the x-rays and you'll see that your ring knuckle is it's short and it appears slender, but it's actually very stout. And so is the pinky. It can handle the force. Not to mention that the carpus is arranged in a way that aids that. So you can hit with three knuckles. So, two or three knuckle landing. Don't just punch. Punch with a specific set of knuckles. Know what you're doing. Make your mindset to be as accurate as possible. Not I'm going to punch him in the face, but I'm going to take my middle knuckle and I'm going to jam it right under his eye, and my index knuckle is going to land right on the very edge of the side of his nose. Okay? Keep that accuracy as your goal. Strengthen your wrist, because you will also bend your wrist, and that'll mess you up more than hitting someone in the face. That's the real injury you should worry about. Also, don't do this when you punch. Don't loop your punches. This is not turning your hand over. This is pawing. Learn to properly rotate your hand if you're going to rotate. Me, I usually tend to punch with a vertical fist. Think it's crazy? Jack Dempsey, championship fighting and aggressive defense. I believe it's the book. Ishin Ryu Karate. Okay, Wing Chun, Shingi Kwan, plenty of martial arts advocated. But if you're going to turn over, don't do that. Look, boom, boom, or boom. Right towards the end, you turn over. This is a turn. This is a loop. This is how you break your hand. This is how you land with these front ones here, and you get a dislocated finger, or you get fight bite. You get bit because you just jam your whole hand in someone's mouth and break down trying to paw it. Rotate properly. This is getting too long. That's all I gotta say. This is Violence Enthusiast signing out. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't dislike it. No one cares. Don't be a jerk. We don't have to know. Okay? I only want positives because I'm biased towards my channel. What? If you didn't like it, how about you leave a comment? Tell me why you didn't like it, because I love to learn. Talk shit about me in the comments. Address me directly. I'll respond to you. You don't have to be nice. If you have something to say, if you have a comment, you want to teach me something, I'm here to learn. You don't even have to be nice to me. I would like that you be nice, but I care about the information. I care about bettering myself. So, yeah, if you didn't like it, just comment. Tell me why. Tell me what's wrong. If you did like it, but you have criticism, tell me. If you just like it and you think I have a great opinion, tell me. You know, I want to communicate with you guys. Same thing goes for Facebook. I'll have a Facebook down soon, you know. Come contact me on there too. Same way, whether you like me or not, or whatever. Subscribe whether you like me or not. If you don't like me, subscribe so you can continue to talk shit to me. If you do, subscribe so you can keep learning, or so you can keep collaborating with other like-minded people. But that's going to be the end of this video. I got to get out of here. I'm tired of making all my videos too long. I hate it. I hate editing. So I'm trying to keep everything as short as possible. This is Violence Enthusiast signing out. See you.